My family abandoned me when I was 21. Now, they want to re-enter my life. When I was 21, my fiancé proposed to me. He was the light of my life, and we had known each other since preschool. Our families were very close. He was an only child, but I had two older sisters. He was especially close to them, which is important to note. We grew up together, and when we started dating, our parents were overjoyed. He helped me deal with my anxiety, and even when I gained some weight and my mother criticized me, he defended me. He said he loved me for who I was, not for my appearance, and he always claimed that I was the most beautiful girl in the world to him. Our engagement lasted only 6 months before the incident occurred. My middle sister, Nikki, was a cold person who rarely showed affection. She only ever opened up to my fiancé, as she considered him a brother and he had helped her through dark times, such as drug addiction and breaking the law. Nikki and I never saw eye to eye. I loved her because she was my sister, but I didn't like her as a person. Out of the blue, Nikki invited me to go clubbing with her. We had never done this together before, and she felt guilty for being so distant from me. I agreed, and we went out that night. Clubbing wasn't my style, but after a few drinks, I loosened up and started having fun. The night was going smoothly until Nikki spotted a guy she was interested in. She approached him, but returned with a sour expression on her face. I asked her what was wrong, but she didn't say anything. I kept pressing her, not wanting our night to be ruined. She eventually told me that the guy didn't want her number but wanted mine instead. I tried to console her, but she remained upset. She excused herself to the restroom, and I waited for her. After over an hour of waiting and sipping on cocktails, I felt dizzy and lightheaded. I decided to take a cab home, thinking Nikki had left. On my way out, I bumped into a friend of hers whom she had briefly dated. He offered to help me to my car, but I told him I was taking a cab. He said he was leaving too and suggested we share one. I agreed, and we got into the first cab we saw. As I tried to find my phone in my purse, I became dizzier. I blacked out and awoke the next morning on a hard sofa, my head pounding. Realizing I was in Nikki's friend's house, I noticed my phone on the glass table in front of me, dead. The friend explained that I had passed out in the cab, and since he didn't know my parents' address, he brought me to his place and laid me on the sofa. I told him I needed to go home because my fiancé would be worried. He called the cab, and I left. When I arrived at my parents' house, I found my mother, father, Nikki, my fiancé, and his parents all standing in the living room. I thought they were worried about me, but as soon as I opened my mouth, my fiancé accused me of cheating on him. I was baffled and tried to explain the night's events, but everyone kept interrupting me. Nikki then chimed in, accusing me of being a liar and heartless. She claimed that I had flirted with random guys all night and left with her friend while she was in the bathroom. I told her what had actually happened, but she showed me a photo of us leaving the club that looked incriminating. I was too drunk to realize his hand had been on my back. My fiancé was furious, and our mothers were both crying. I asked Nikki to call her friend so he could confirm that nothing happened, but when she did, he told a completely different story. He claimed that I begged him to take me back to his place, and once there, we slept together multiple times. I was devastated and accused Nikki of orchestrating the whole thing to make me look bad. I begged my fiancé to believe me, but he just shook his head and left. After everyone had gone, my mother slapped me and told me to get out. I left for a friend's house, where I stayed for a few nights. During that time, I called my fiancé, pleading with him to believe that nothing happened, but he never returned my calls or texts. My mother texted me, telling me she was kicking me out and hurling hurtful slurs at me. She didn't even give me time to collect my things before throwing them out. I was now homeless, and none of my family would take me in. I stayed with friends for a while, but eventually, I found a job and rented a small apartment. It took a long time, but I began to rebuild my life. I made new friends and started dating again, though I always had trust issues. Now it has been roughly 2 years since I left and have not spoken to any of my family. I had no idea what was going with them until I got a knock on my door. It was my ex-fiancé. I was shocked to say the least. All these feelings came rushing back and all I wanted to do was jump into his arms. But then I remembered the pain I had felt and tried to slam the door in his face, but he stopped it and asked that I let him explain. He said that Nikki had gotten married and she had confessed that she lied about the situation because she had found someone she loved so much and realized what a horrible thing she had done. She was jealous of the attention that my fiancé had given me and wanted to take him away from me. She had drugged my drink and convinced her friend to lie about our encounter. I asked him how he found me and he said my friend told him. My entire family had been trying to get in touch with me and wanted to see me. I told him I needed time to see if I even wanted to have them in my life. He left and I have been a mess since. My family had disowned me, and I had lost years of my life to lies and betrayal. My question is, what should I do now? Should I confront my family with the truth? Should I try to reconnect with my ex-fiancé? I feel like I've been robbed of my happiness, and I don't know how to move forward.